Yeah, he will still be dead.
He's gonna be dead for a long time.
But Trump lives and dies on his base,
Yeah.
and the base right now is they're unsteady.
But like me, who want justice, and I want to know how many of those people are in our government.
I don't know about that.
Abby Phillip just schooled KevinOLeary so hard in a live MAGA debate that the man might still be looking for his dignity. Kevin tried to downplay the Epstein files and brag about a booming economy, but Abby torched his spin with brutal facts and left him visibly rattled. Honestly, by the end, it didn't even feel like a debate. It felt like watching Kevin's talking points crumble to dust on national TV.
Is not worrying about Epstein. Don't give a damn. They want to provide for their family, and they are. America's working.
So
this is the American.
So hold on. Let me just say,
working.
Jerome Powell just announced that he's going to hold off on.
Let me set the scene for you. CNN's Newsnight turns into a battlefield, and sitting right in the crosshairs is KevinOLeary, Shark Tank's loudest investor turned MAGA hype man. He walks in like he owns the place, ready to charm viewers with Wall Street wisdom and reheated talking points straight from the Trump playbook.
But secondly, on the broader picture of what is happening in the country and how do Americans feel about it, CBS YouGov poll asked, how do you think things are going here in this country? 61% said very or somewhat badly.
But here's the twist. Abby Phillip isn't here for the fluff. She's locked, loaded, and ready to fact-check every syllable Kevin throws out. This wasn't just another roundtable discussion. This was a collision course between Kevin's America is thriving fantasy and Abby's welcome back to reality sledgehammer. Kevin starts with full confidence, acting like he owns the room. He brags about a booming economy, record-high stock indices, global trade deals, and an America supposedly thriving under MAGA policies.
What they care about, look at the American economy right now. A lot of people had a lot of mistrust on the tariff issue. Economy's on fire. Indexes all-time highs. Every country on earth wants to cut a deal with America. The average person at the kitchen table is not worrying about Epstein.
Then he drops the line that sets the whole debate on fire. He's dead. Nobody gives a damn about Epstein. In Kevin's world, average Americans don't care about elites, client lists, or accountability. They only care about paying bills and putting food on the table. But this dismissive spin sets him up for failure. Kevin thought he could bury the Epstein files and ride a Wall Street victory lap, not realizing Abby Phillip was ready to blow holes in every talking point he had.
Yeah, he will still be dead.
He's gonna be dead for a long time.
But Trump lives and dies on his base,
Yeah.
and the base right now is they're unsteady.
I don't understand why he hasn't released.
Abby wastes no time cutting straight through Kevin's spin. While he's busy bragging about record-high markets, she hits him with a reality check. The Federal Reserve just paused interest rate cuts because Trump's tariffs are driving inflation back up.
Of the American people, release it, and let us then examine the documents, as we call it in law, documentary evidence. It'll speak for itself instead of listening to all the nonsense.
I would love for them to release the files.
Literally, that booming economy Kevin keeps selling isn't helping the average family. It's squeezing them harder at the checkout line. Gas prices are up, groceries cost more, and the so-called MAGA miracle is starting to look like a Wall Street fantasy disconnected from real life. Kevin wanted to paint a picture of prosperity. Abby flipped the canvas and showed viewers the uglier truth. The economy might look great in charts, but ordinary Americans are the ones paying the price.
On the Epstein files, this is what Republicans want. 83% want the files released. So I think both of those things is part of why Trump is having a hard time right now.
Kevin tries to shrug off the Epstein client files like they're some irrelevant headline, but Abby doesn't let him escape. She pulls out the receipts and drops the number Kevin didn't see coming. A CBS YouGov poll shows 83% of Republicans want the Epstein files released. Read that again. Trump's own base is demanding transparency. This isn't some liberal obsession or a media distraction. It's the very voters Kevin claims to speak for, saying, "We want the truth." Abby goes further, reminding viewers that for years, Trump and MAGA media promised these files would take down Democrats and expose elites. Now, with pressure mounting to actually release them, the narrative suddenly flips to nobody cares.
Can families give a damn about?
Just to be clear,
they just
we
don't.
do know.
We
do know that there were
We do know
victims, so
that
that's
there were
not
victims.
speculative.
We do know that there were victims. And the thing is, people can compartmentalize, right? And the reason why people care about this a lot, not just because of the very real Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking and the crimes that were committed, It is the fact that Donald Trump himself spent years.
Kevin sat there pushing MAGA talking points. Abby buried them with cold, undeniable facts. And for the first time in the debate, Kevin had nothing to fire back with. Abby turns up the heat and goes straight for the jugular, Trump's double standard on transparency. She points out how Trump happily released the MLK and JFK files without hesitation. Yet, when it comes to the Epstein client list, suddenly there's delay after delay.
We are going to deliver the Epstein client list that's going to take down all of your Democratic enemies.
Bring it.
Yeah, well, yes, bring it. Donald,
poop.
please. Donald,
Nobody
bring
gives
it.
a poop.
You don't give a poop, okay?
The
Other
polling
people do,
indicates-
including people like me who
on
want
behalf of the
justice.
majority of
And I want to know how many of those
Nobody
people are in our
gives
government.
a
I don't know about
poop
that.
about this.
And here's the reality. Even Trump's own supporters aren't buying it. Bernice King, Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, publicly called out the hypocrisy and urged Trump to release the Epstein documents next. Abby drives the point home. If transparency mattered for MLK and JFK, why is this list off limits?
Republicans do. I mean, look, on the MLK files, I mean, it's interesting because the family did not want this released in this way. And Bernice King, Dr. King's daughter, posted this on X not just a little while ago. Now do the Epstein files, as she says, with a photo of her father, because
Kevin tries to deflect, but it's pointless. Abby's framing is bulletproof. MAGA built its brand on promising these revelations, and now they're acting like it's no big deal. In one clean strike, she exposes the gap between what MAGA preaches and what it delivers, and Kevin's defense collapses right along with it.
Trump's argument on the Epstein files is that, oh, you know, people might get hurt by what's in this. He didn't seem to be that concerned about that when it came to the MLK files.
No, but Abby,
Abby cuts through Kevin's dismissiveness with one sharp point. This isn't gossip, it's about justice. Real victims were trafficked and exploited by powerful elites, and some of those names could still be in government positions today.
Suggesting that it should remain secret forever because there was a date by which this would be released, but the timing of this very moment, I think her implication here is that it is being used as a tool to distract.
She makes it simple. Americans have the right to know who was involved and why the truth is being buried. Kevin tries to pivot back to jobs and the economy, but Abby doesn't let him. Every deflection makes him sound out of touch and tone deaf. And hey, if you're loving watching Abby dismantle Kevin in real time, smash that like button and subscribe, because the facts she drops next are even harder to recover from.
That he signed as his images that he did not draw.
Well, a lot of artists, I guess.
Okay,
I'm just
a lot of artists do that.
I'm just being
worst
clear.
case scenario,
But the
all
other,
this stuff's true. Does that in any way affect the American economy or what's going
No,
on with
There's
And-
more to life
and
than
listen,
the American economy.
who cares?
This is where the debate flips. Abby stops countering Kevin and starts controlling him. Every time he throws out a talking point, she shuts it down with specifics. Fed policy, polling data, GOP demands for transparency. Facts Kevin simply can't spin away.
I got to say.
If we want to talk economy, which we will,
We
what
should.
is Trump
That's
doing
what matters.
other than providing absolute uncertainty, injecting all of this into the market? We have the bond markets here, trying to wonder whether or not the debt that's coming from the
Epstein,
big beautiful
dead guy
bill.
matters?
Kevin walks in confident and combative, but by this stage, he's visibly rattled. Abby isn't just challenging him, she's leading the entire conversation while Kevin struggles to keep up. It stops feeling like a debate and starts looking like a live fact-check massacre.
Trump sometimes overreacts to things like this. You don't think that the files probably have that much to do with Trump. Is he overreacting?
The moment the cameras stopped rolling, clips of Abby dismantling KevinOLeary flooded social media. Viewers weren't just watching a debate, they were watching a public unraveling. Abby connected every dot perfectly. A so-called booming economy that's squeezing families, broken MAGA promises about transparency, and a powerful demand for justice in the Epstein case. It struck a nerve because it wasn't about politics. It was about trust.
I care deeply about it because I'm not going to buy this argument that like these young girls were raped by what? Did they rape themselves? No, they got raped by people who are in powerful positions, and I want to know how many of those individuals are currently serving in our government in some role or the
American,
other.
Awake.
People saw Kevin's dismissiveness clash with Abby's relentless facts, and the contrast was impossible to ignore. Within hours, this wasn't just a CNN segment anymore. It was a viral moment proving that sometimes spin collapses when the truth shows up prepared. If Abby just dismantled Kevin's defense in front of millions, what happens when the Epstein files actually drop? Do you think MAGA survives that storm, or does this debate become the first crack in the wall?